Welcome to Conversations with the Fly Aunt. I am Ebony Ivory, and I have my special guest, Priscilla Francis. Please, Priscilla, introduce yourself to the people.
Hey, everyone. I'm Priscilla Francis. I am a licensed clinical therapist in Houston, Texas.
H-Town.
H-Town. Come on out. I hail and reside from New York. I'm a New York girl, South Jamaica, Queens. I have businesses in Houston. My private practice is called Gem Counseling, GEM, dropping those gems.
We gonna pick them up.
We're going to pick them up. Gem Counseling and Consulting Services. And I have a group practice where I have other dope therapists, Gem Healing Group, where our goal is just to heal and save Houston.
I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
Right. We starting with Houston. I want the world.
It doesn't get any better than that. So let's get right into it. We have a sponsorship. We have a Georgia-based realtor by the name of Winifred O'Perry, who I've had the pleasure of working with. She has close to 2 decades of real estate behind her. She specializes in relocation and concierge realty. Basically, she's at your service. She's ready to service all of your buying and selling needs, and I'll have her contact information in the description box. Now let's get into this conversation.
Oof.
All right, so let's get into this.
Let's get into it.
I like to play a little game here.
Oh, Lord, what you about to have me? Is it a game? Okay.
It's a little game.
A little game.
A little amuse-bouche, an appetizer, wet your
Cleanse
palate.
my palate. Okay.
You know I love food.
The fly auntie stay cooking. But okay.
So the first thing we're going to get into it's called Vibe, Eat, and Rejuvenate.
Okay.
All right. So when you get in your vehicle and you've had a day, what's that go-to song that you like to listen to?
How many can I give you?
1.
Oh, the boundary is real today. Okay.
Absolutely.
Where I'm in my walk right now, I identify as a follower of Christ. So where I am blasting anything Maverick City. Can I say the band, or you want a specific song?
I want a song.
Okay.
The people may want to go tune in and listen to it.
More Than Able with Maverick City and Tasha Cobbs. That breaks me down.
All right. I love it. I love it. I'm going to check them out.
Yeah.
All right. So Eat. What is your comfort meal? You know that meal that when you get in your seat and you know it's coming.
You do the greedy dance,
you
the
do
shimmy.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. I am a sweets girl. I'm brown sugar, of course, clearly. But no, I love sweets. I am cakes, ice creams, cookies, but my poison of choice, I will take a nice, decadent, rich, moist cake with a good cream cheese icing. Oh, I'm the one that need a little sweet. I need something sweet after dinner. Like,
oh Lord, you making me hungry now.
Yeah.
Now you making me hungry. All right. And to rejuvenate, because as you mentioned, you're a licensed therapist. So what do you do to build yourself back up?
That's a good one. That's a really good one. I'm a walker. My New York came out. So, I'm a walker. I like to walk. That's how I connect. That's how I think out my day. That's how I connect with my dog and my body and my animal. That's how I pray. That's how I listen to my trap music if need be, just by moving my body and tuning out everything and tuning in. Yeah.
I love that. So that was Vibe, Eat, and Rejuvenate. I hope you guys enjoyed that, getting to know a little extra about our licensed therapist. So we're going to get into today's conversation.
Okay.
So how many of you guys, and also you can put this in the comments as well, have experienced these types of statements being said in your home? Okay. So I'm just going to throw out a couple. So the first one is, what goes on in this house stays in this house. We also have another, because I said so. Do as I say, not as I do. And I want to know, how many of you have actually gotten an apology from your parents? Have your parents ever apologized to you for anything? That's what we're going to talk about today.
You coming in deep already. Like, you went from the appetizer to boom, entree, heavy course. Okay, let's.
That's what these conversations
The
are.
question you asked was, how many of y'all ever heard anything? I have heard, experienced, and said all of them things myself. So yeah.
Wow.
That poison in parenting sometimes it's real.
Poison in parenting. That's what we're going to be conversating about. It's a very, very real thing. And we want to open up a conversation and let us know also in the comments, what poison in parenting have you experienced? Maybe in turn, you've dished out some poisoning parenting. I certainly have. So I'll share a poisoning parenting moment, right? And again, this is subjective. Not everybody may be on the same page, but this is my interpretation. So I'm an oversharer. So there are things that I've shared with my daughter in her youth.
Yeah.
Oversharing about relationships, stuff that she really didn't have any business knowing because it could cause her to form an opinion about somebody. So that's how you basically will know, and how I say that I overshare, because whatever I'm sharing could cause her to have an opinion of this said person. So that's my poison in parenting trait. You want to share one if you have one?
Yeah, we being vulnerable and real about it, and being open. I would say I'm the complete opposite. I shut down when I'm going through a moment. I had to, on my healing journey, working as a therapist who is in therapy, proudly, I recognize that when I get overwhelmed or I'm annoyed, I get in my head. And for me, I pull away. Okay. I go in my room, or I get busy, or I start cleaning, or I get excessive about work, and I shut down and pull away from my kids. So it wasn't until we were talking and my son said something like, "Oh, mommy, you're upset, go in your room." Like, it was kind of, and it wasn't in a rude way.
Of course.
But it was like, ooh.
Yeah.
They noticed that. So
right.
Even though I thought I was protecting them by not saying anything, I was still harming them because they noticed the disconnection, the isolation, and I wasn't telling them what was going on. And we know with kids, when they don't know, with people, because adults, I do the same thing. When I don't know, I'm going to fill in the gaps.
Right.
And
they run in the narrative.
And it can run in their minds. So I had to change how I communicated what I was going through with my kids. And the conversation looks like, I know some parents don't, again, this is me, every parent don't believe in they should explain to their kids and do that. But I grew up like that, and I'm trying to change that narrative.
Right.
So it looks like me saying, yo, I had a long day today. I ordered pizza because I ain't cooking.
Right.
I am about to go take a bubble bath. How can I support you before I go? So I've had conversations with my kids about self-soothing. Oh. Go on your iPad, go read a book, my job is not to stimulate you. If you need that, go take that. Mine's maybe with a bubble bath. So how can I support you is saying, what you need before I go in this bathtub? Because I don't want to hear no knock at the door saying, Mama, wear this and wear that. Not how can I do it for you? How can I support you? Because you're going to do it for yourself.
Amazing. Yeah. And how did your kids react to that?
It's being me and who I am. My kids are kind of go with the flow, and they know that their mom is a therapist.
Okay.
So, and even as a therapist though, you talked about apologizing, and I've had to, but I even tell my kids as a therapist, there's going to be a point in time where you may need to go talk to someone about what I did as a parent. And powerful. I get that. And powerful. I'm going to support that. So they kind of know that mommy's a therapist. Like I'm the type that, do you want a hug? I'm asking permission before I touch their body, because that's a whole different topic about, unwanted touch, but I'm
boundaries.
So they kind of know, but initially it was different because on the other side, I grew up Jamaican, and there's a lot of that Jamaican rigidness. So it's a workaround.
My rules are my rules.
My house, yeah.
This is my house where I pay my bills, them. You don't run things, right. Me run you.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I love it, because these conversations need to be had, and people need to understand as well that they're not alone.
Right.
I think that's really important, that our childhoods, Caribbean based for us, are very, very similar. So I wanted to discuss, let's let's take, for example, the telling us what to do, no explanation, no reason, no rhyme to it. How can that show up later on in our adulthood? How could that show up?
Okay. A child who gets talked at without an explanation, understanding of why they're doing what they're doing, ideally you're creating a robot. You know, yes. I'm not saying that your child has to argue with you, but let them be explorative and ask questions and be curious about this. I don't want to create a soldier. I want to create a leader who can think for themselves and ask questions. And my job as their parent, this gift that I've received, is to guide them through that real world that's out there. So I want them to make mistakes with me.
Right. I mean, that's so well said, because even you saying that, for me, as an adult, I'm thinking how that showed up for me.
Oof. Because in adulthood, go ahead. Relationships and
because
friendships.
in my previous relationships, I did what I was told. No questions asked. And the reason why is because my parentage set that tone, and I didn't question my parentage because in my mind, I'm assuming they're doing what's best for me. Yeah. So they're telling me this and giving me this direction, and I'm doing it because they know best.
Right.
So that came through in my relationship. Oh, well, he's telling me this because this is what's best for me. Even so, and I'm going to take it a step further, this comes going against my own intuition.
Now we talking about body work.
Right.
You know that you getting fed BS, but you keep believing it.
But you've been trained for so long to just condition. That's a great word. You've been conditioned for so long that you just do what I'm telling you to do, and you don't question it. And as a matter of fact, let's go into another aspect of it. What is it like? How does it show up for us when you're not even allowed to question or have an opinion on what it is that you're being told? Like, you feel some type of way because I'm telling you what to do?
Ooh.
That's, for me, in my childhood, those are my experiences. I would definitely not understand, like, why so harsh?
The rigidness. So what it sounds like you're talking about is the rigidness of parenting, and the idea that you are the final say, the end all be all, which ideally you are. It's your house, you're the adult. But sometimes it can be so cut and dry and so final and so finished that you feel defeated in the process. You feel like, what's the point? You know, it can be your kids afraid to ask a question. Think about that. Your kid's afraid to ask you for something. You know, like, your kids can't come to you and ask you a question. You just gonna say no. And then that has to be a conversation of empowerment. It don't matter if I'm gonna say no. Still speak up for yourself. Right. You know, closed mouths don't get fed. That's my saying around my house. If you don't want to speak up, I don't know, but I don't want to assume. Like I said, how do I support you through this process? I want to instill in my children those words of language, because one of the things that we also don't do is sometimes we don't talk, you know, and due to scheduling and things going on in a parent's life, you don't get to connect with your kids. Right. So you're more giving them orders than talking with them. Right. Yeah.
Right. And that's a great example of what some of my parentage was like at times. So let's talk about how can we transition? How can we kind of change the narrative a little bit from because you can always change and you can always grow.
Yeah, that's the first thing. Being aware.
Right.
Awareness, we have to be aware that there's a possibility for change. If we're honest about ourselves and reflect, we've all changed. We're supposed to change.
Right.
Change equals survival. If we don't change, we die. You know? So having this idea that I'm perfect. You can't change. Again, I'm coming back to apologizing. One of the things that you could recognize in yourself in the awareness is if you've never apologized to your children.
That's a trait. That's certainly.
If you've never been able to apologize and say, I mess up. I share with my children, we are doing this together. Together means this is your first time being a child. And this is my first time being a mom.
Right.
And there's a learning curve. And I have to give myself, just like I give you grace, I'm giving myself grace, saying we are both figuring this journey out together. So I'm going to mess up.
Right.
Mistakes are welcomed in my houses. An L ain't always a loss. Sometimes it's a learn. And we got to recognize that. Dropping them gems, pick it up. But
exactly.
But, you have to be able to recognize the awareness and be able to take your ego out and be like, ask yourself, and this is a question, y'all, and I want y'all to put in the comment section. Can you identify if there is something that your parents can or should or you would want them to apologize to you for along your parenting journey? Now take that. You say, I'm owed an apology. All right.
Right.
Wouldn't your child as well? It's nothing wrong. I know the ego, especially in our community. Nah, I'm good. I don't.
The hierarchy thing
Woo,
as well.
I'm the parent. You said it in the beginning.
Yes.
It's my way or the highway. And then we create this mentality of struggle within our kids. And then they playing catch up because we want to teach them a lesson.
Because another question I would pose to parents that may struggle with this is, are your rules more important than the love and the communication that you need to share with me? Are your rules that much more important than loving me? Because some parents can become so rigid with the rules. Where's the love? Right. Where's the communication? Where's the forcefulness of that? Where's the rigidness in loving me?
That's a good question. Where's the rigidness in loving me? It come back to that awareness, though. Because even in the rigidness, it can look like the silent treatment. That's destructive to your child.
Yes.
For them to feel an emotion and you not to be able to communicate with them what's happening, but they sense it. It's kind of like gaslighting. You know what I mean? I ain't mad. Mom, you okay? Yeah, I'm good. But we know that you're not good and you walking around stuffing and puffing and you don't want to talk to your kids.
But also fostering, when you do that as well, you're also fostering them not wanting to express themselves.
Because it doesn't feel safe.
It's not a safe space.
Yep.
It's not a safe. And it's not a safe place. And it's not how that can show up on later on is them not taking a stand when they are being mistreated or talked to.
Yes. Even dimming, it's like dimming their light. It's like you are projecting on them this idea and version of what you believe that they should be.
Right.
That they never agreed to, they're not aware of. And again, I'm not talking about grades and chores and different those things.
Right.
But your child don't want to play football. Let them join that art class.
Right.
Connecting with your kid, not dimming their light and who they are. Because like you said, it shows up in insecure adults, not feeling confident, not feeling aware, not feeling good enough, unsure if they can do something, insulting themselves. I can't do this. I'm not, or I'm fat enough. I'm not pretty enough. That comes at home. What are the messages that you're sending? If someone compliments your child, one of the things, and I kind of cringe a little bit when parents may be like, don't tell them that, they're gonna get a big head, or
not being able to accept a compliment.
No, for their kid though,
right?
Because they think that it's going to develop this sense of vanity. What you could be subconsciously telling your child that they shouldn't shine bright. Don't have a sense of confidence because we don't want you to be vain or arrogant. I always say it's a thin line between the two.
But that also comes back to this. They always want us to be so humble.
Of course.
And if it's always we're always being looked to be humble. Yeah. Why are we the chosen ones for the humbleness?
Because it's a reflection of them. It's ego. If we gonna be real, as a parent, I can admit too, it's a reflection of me. Don't go in this store acting all crazy. don't. It's a reflection.
I ain't got no McDonald's money.
Right? Yes, I do. I do. I'm a parent that has. We're gonna talk about that later. But the whole reshaping of how we do things and show up. I am a parent that got McDonald's money now.
Right.
You can go ahead and get something.
Right.
Mama not cooking. You can get that, and it's a balance.
And it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy it.
Yes. Eat it good. This one I just thought while we were talking, Eb. You look like your daddy, or you sound like your daddy, or you look like your mom, or you do. Do you hear the passive aggressive remark? You look like this person that may or may not be in our life, isn't around. I know that you may be angry with, low key, or got beef, or
you simply don't like.
Oh, correct. And you are comparing me to this person. So what you trying to tell me?
That sends the self-esteem all the way down. So this is how because you're internalizing because you don't have the safe space to communicate. Right. So you don't like me at all. You looked at me and you don't like me. You don't care about me. Or maybe, it could be a situation where it's a domestic violence. Oh, so you see me like I'm a monster.
Correct.
All of these things, all of those things, that what you think could be just like a small little line is so it's self, you're damaging.
It's a tear.
You're causing emotional damage in the worst way. And sometimes, again, because it's not a safe space to express yourself, how are you going to come out of that? How can you come out of it? It takes years because, they're probably not going to therapy. They're definitely not going to therapy. They're doing that. So when you grown,
right,
years later.
So how you come out of it as an adult?
So let's talk about this, right? We got some of the traits and some of the things that you may hear and you may say. So now that they've gotten some self-awareness, that's me. I recognize a little bit.
Okay.
A little bit of that. How do they turn it around?
Awareness, so we talked about first. Being curious. So sometimes when we notice something is wrong or going on, we can get defensive even with our own selves. It's not like the friend telling you, sis, oh man, I didn't do that. We automatically get rejective of something that's wrong with us. Right. That guard goes up because this is also shows up in us with our childhood.
Right.
So it's saying, let me connect with my kid. Adult, whether they're a child, whether they're adult, open that relationship. So my son likes playing basketball. I go out there and I shoot hoops. Am I good? I'm all right. I'm not going to be in the WNBA, but I know that's what he likes. So I enter his space to connect with him. I'm changing the playing the field because here's the thing. I'm always going to be the parent. Our relationship is always going to be a level of respect. He knows that. Right. So for me to kind of open those eyes, I come on his terms and we shoot hoops and, hey, so how was school today? I'm asking very open-ended questions. I'm also creating that space for them to share. So if I'm asking a question, let me be digest to hear what they gonna say.
Be ready to receive what it is.
Babe, because what we know about our kids, okay, they gonna be honest. They are reflections of us. And that's another thing. If you want to know also, if you're aware now and you're there and you want to see how you're doing as a parent, observe how your kids speak to one another, how they speak to themselves, how the engagement goes on in the home. If they constantly berating their little brother or little sister and talking down to them meanly and negatively and yelling, where do you think they picking that up from?
Oh.
And I'm going to go a little farther. If this is a single parent household, you the only person they seeing.
You the one that stays.
So you got to take a little bit of responsibility and don't be so hard on yourself.
Right.
But be open to what's happening and create those spaces. Go to therapy. Talk to someone. If therapy isn't your way, then find a life coach. Go to God. Be open. Watch YouTube. We are in the age now where you can learn anything off the internet. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Having those conversations. So I have conversations with my kids and I ask them check-ins. How am I showing up as a mama? Remember, this comes back also to me saying we're experiencing this together. So
Right.
I'm doing check-ins just like you have these assessments at work. Check in with your kids. Now, again, it doesn't mean I'm going to change anything, but if I can improve in some way, I
Right.
know the differences of my kids. You
Right.
know, I'm able to know that my younger son needs a lot more affection than my older son. A lot more.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I have to
Yes.
show up for him in that way and be just be affectionate and love and hugs and kisses. And I know my older son, he needs quality time. You know, I've studied them just like they're studying me, and I'm
Yes.
recognizing, giving them feedback. How I show up as a mom. Anything I need to work on? Is there something that you would like me to do more of, less of? And my kids are funny because we have this. They gonna shoot something wild out, and I get it. I want that because remember we learning.
Right.
That ain't happening. But I like the fact that you shot that out because sometimes I do say yes. You can't always have a space to no. You as a parent, you can't. No.
I love that. You can't always have a space of no.
Yeah.
Because that leads to them keeping to themselves because they feel like you're just going to say no anyway.
Right. Why ask for anything in life? Why ask for that promotion? It shows up. Why ask for that promotion? Why not tell this guy or girl that I want to be exclusive and not no longer go with the flow of what we doing? I don't want to kick it no more. You know, why not go into my boss's office and say, hey, this work is overwhelming and I need an adjust. Why not? But we're so afraid to show up because some of that is how we were taught and what we saw.
Whew, I feel like my mind has kind of been blown a little bit here because even as I parent, I have one adult and I have two teenage boys. So the male-female dynamic is so different.
Oh, yeah.
The age gap is so different. The relationship with my daughter is very different because of course we're very feminine and in our feminine energy, so we bond like on a different level with them. And then I have my sons and they're just like, you know, they're like guys and they're like mom, you know, and they're just like that. And it's like it's just amazing to watch them and like bond with them. And like even before coming here today, you know, in just a moment of vulnerability, I went to my daughter and I said to her, what about me would you, when I was raising you, and just FYI, the parenting never stops, but you know, you do have to let them be adults. But what was it to you that you would consider poisonous about me? You
That's
know,
a good one.
What would you consider? And she said, you know what? You sometimes, when it came to certain topics of discussion, you just weren't emotionally available because of the circumstances that you were dealing with. Mm-hmm. It's like you were there, but you weren't all the way engaged. And I said, I received that.
Yeah.
And thank you for sharing that with me. Because I'm in a space where I want to grow and I want to continue to grow. That Ebony that she's speaking about was 10 years ago. I'm not in that space anymore. However, I asked for the feedback and she gave it to me. And moving forward, I'm going to make sure that I'm intentional when she comes to talk to me. Because guess what? She would say there would be some times that she wouldn't approach me because she didn't feel like she was going to be heard the way she desired to be heard. And of course, I was remorseful and I felt bad about it. And I apologized for it. And we move forward, but I've taken it in, and that's something that I'm going to continue to be intentional about. When she comes to me to talk, extra make sure that you upright and you're engaged, because your body language says it all.
Everything.
Your body language says everything.
So, example, even that, when my kids are talking to me, I remove my phone. I go even a step further. I will put it down so it doesn't even distract me, so they can recognize they have my undivided attention and I'm listening to what they're saying. One of the tricks I also do with my boys is when we hug, I always let them pull away first.
Really?
I always let them pull away first. You know, when we hug people, we feel like it got to be quick and rushed, and I never pull away first.
That's such an interesting thing.
Yeah.
You know my thing about hugs, because I'm a hugger. Mm-hmm. I hate when people pat me on the back.
Mm. Now we getting your pet peeve.
Yeah, I hate when people pat me on the back, and I'm gonna tell you why. For me, and this is how I interpret things and my body behaviors. When you're patting me on the back, it's not genuine. You don't want to connect with me. When you hug me, yeah, it's like, hey girl, hey Miss Mama.
Yeah.
When you hug me, I need a good hug, like I want to feel that we're engaged. And it's nothing. It's with women, it's with men, it's nothing, sexualized. It is, I want
connection.
I want the connection. I want you to understand this is an extension of me, my energy.
It's an intentional act. I want to do that.
Yes, it's intentional. It's an exchange of energy. And and I'm not gonna lie, when you hug me and if you give me a pat on the back, I'm judging you.
Okay, well, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Please be curious, like you're going to be curious with yourself, but we're not going to judge, because I will say that I love that. And at the same time, recognize you are a hugger. That doesn't mean that they are a hugger.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
And that could also be uncomfortable for them, unsure for them. Remember, as we talk about poisoning parenting, some poisoning parenting or touch could come with sexual abuse or hitting
great
connection
point.
To me ain't always love and kindness. It means that you want to take something from me or use me or remember, we're talking about all poisoning parenting. Not we named a lot on this,
right?
But there's a lot. This
You're
come
right.
back and see us on the next one so we can keep going or continue to name some on the bottom. There's a lot of things that we didn't talk about. This is to open the conversation, not start and to finish. Nah. So there's that. So don't judge, Ebony Lux.
Okay.
Don't judge.
I'm not gonna judge.
That's my gem that I'm dropping there. I'm saying to y'all better dap her up. Y'all better, one of them deep hugs to make it real. Let her know. Heartbeats gotta connect, but
not heartbeats gotta connect. Why you trying to eat me up like that?
Girl, just not.
Girl, oh my gosh. Listen here. We are having real conversations. This is what it's about. So what I would love for everyone to do, just put in the comment section what you may have a poisonous trait, parenting trait, or a poisonous parent trait that you've dealt with. And maybe how have you changed? What are you trying new?
Right.
And also, again, connecting with your children. What did you try to do
questions.
To connect?
Yeah.
So what do you think is, you mentioned like coming down to their level, participating in activities that they participate in.
Eat with them.
Okay.
Growing up, due to family and scheduling and works, we didn't sit down and eat. So I eat with my kids. We sit down and we talk about it and we go around and talk about our day. It doesn't have to be long and drawn out. And how was your day? What made you laugh? Ask open-ended questions. What is something that you would have done differently? That's how I get my kids to tell on themselves that we ain't gonna. But I ask them, what would you have done differently today? And they'll be like, well, I did this and this and this. That helps me recognize that, okay, they're struggling in this, or not to be like, you told the teacher this, or you get. No, just to get curious about it. Hugging and connecting with them, talking to them, get to know their friends, listen, they say you are the company that you keep. So open that up. If your child likes a sport, get into their sport, volunteer. There's so many things. They're kids. Here's the thing. You are in charge. You're the parent.
Right.
Create that space.
Create it. And also, in charge doesn't always have to be above or controlling them either.
Be the child at some point. I learn from my kids constantly, and they also reinforce me. I have a rule at the table: no electronics. One day, I brought my happy self to the table, not even subconsciously being aware of what was happening, sat down. And when my kids bring electronics, so we have rules, I charge them $2. $2, because money affect them now. So give me $2. And everybody be like, that's $2. So it keeps us accountable and fun. But I saw my happy behind at the table with my phone scrolling, and my youngest son said $2, and I just froze. And I said, "You right." Being able as a parent to allow them to check me. Wrong is wrong.
Right.
Not on that do as I say and nope.
Right.
You right. Put that money in a jar. My apologies, because this rule was created so we could have undivided family time. It's not meant to hurt them.
Right.
But I also got to follow my own rule.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not just do what I say.
I'm telling you, when kids teach you so much,
yes.
you just got to be open to learning from them. Be the student. Don't always be the teacher. Be the student sometimes.
I love that. So this is going to bring the episode to a close. Priscilla, please tell people how they can connect with you, your website.
Definitely.
Please.
I'm currently licensed in Houston, Texas, so I can see clients throughout the state of Texas. I'm also a Reiki healer, and that's a different side, so look it up if y'all want some Reiki. But you can go to my website, GEM Counseling, GEM counseling.com. You can get more information about myself, my awesome clinicians, and connect. And if I can't help you, I can connect you with someone who can, because that's all it's about, helping one another and changing this world.
Absolutely. So I am Ebony Ivory, the Fly Aunt. Please follow all my social media platforms: TikTok, The Fly Aunt Cooks; YouTube, The Fly Aunt. And again, I want to thank you guys for joining us and just spending time with us and having these conversations. And I implore you, open up, have a conversation, broach these topics, get connected. Until the next episode.